Bonjour et bienvenue à Gourmet, the channel where I cook my way through all the cookbooks I own and have never used. We are working with Mastering the Art of French Cooking by Julia Child, where we'll be making, can you see it? Ratatouille! That's right. You knew I had to break out the Remy's shirt for this one. Um, I'm excited to try. I've made different variations of Ratatouille over the years, never made this one. So let's get started. So to start this Ratatouille, I will say it's not going to be like the movie one that we have all seen. It is going to be slightly different. What we're going to do, just because we need to do quite a bit of prep for this, we're going to take our pound of tomatoes, so it's about 3 tomatoes, and we're going to boil them in water for about 10 seconds, and then remove them, cut out the stem. So I don't know why I'm just like sitting here doing this. We're going to cut the stem out, and then we're going to peel the tomato that way. I've seen people do an X at the bottom, so I'm going to do that with one of the tomatoes and just kind of see what works better. But then we're going to split our tomatoes in half and juice them and get the seeds out because we don't want any of that in there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my slotted spoon and drop my tomato in there. And we're just going to count for 10 seconds. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to go ahead and take it out. That seems really short, but hey, it is what it is. We're going to take our little knife. I'm going to cut out. Oh, this is actually pretty hot. Ouch. Okay, we've cut out the stem, and we're just going to sit and try to peel the skin off. We've got some of it. Take my knife to kind of start the next section. It definitely peels well, so that's good. I'm curious how the other method's gonna go. It definitely isn't peeling in like big sections, but that's okay. Am I in camera? I think so. You can tell that I don't peel a lot because I am not great at it. I'm not the best with a paring knife. There has to be a better way to do this. I'm just slow. Like, I recognize that fact. And see, I feel like if we had left it in maybe like a couple seconds longer, it would peel a little better. But, it is what it is. That's okay. There we go. That was a big chunk. That's a big chunk. That's nice. Okay. We're almost there. We're getting there. We're close. We're close. 2 little more sections. And then we can set this tomato to the side. There we go. Woo, we did it. Okay, that can sit to the side. I'm going to go ahead and do the other way that I've seen on TV where they like score it. And then I'm going to take my thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to take this out and put it over here, and we're just going to start to peel from the other side and see if this was easier. No. Certainly not. It's just about the same. Okay. I guess I'll just finish these off camera. Well, that's a lie. I'll probably keep filming this, but won't make you watch it. Because this is painful. Even I can admit that. We have our tomatoes done. The next step is to seed and juice. So we're going to cut these in half. And then, oh, I need to wash my hands again because I need to turn the page. Okay, and then it says to gently press the juice and seeds out of the tomato. So we're just gonna gently press and maybe kind of go in with our hands a little bit to get some more of the seeds out, get that part out. Okay. Get those seeds out, get those seeds out. And I'm going to call that a day, and I'm going to put that over there. And we're going to do that with the other 3 tomatoes. So now we're going to get ready with our eggplant and zucchini. I have this bowl here. I'm going to go ahead. This doesn't necessarily say to do it, but I'm going to chop off the top and the bottom of the eggplant. We need about a pound of eggplant and a pound of zucchini. This is going to be probably a little over a pound of eggplant and a little over a pound of zucchini, but we did our best. Now what we need to do is peel the eggplant, which is also a step I've never done when I've made this before. So that's interesting. Not really sure why I have to peel it, but hey, we try our best. And then we're going to cut our eggplant lengthwise, or into lengthwise slices, 3/4 of an inch thick, about 3 inches long, and an inch wide. So we'll just, I don't know, probably not hit those measurements, but we'll try our best. Oops, we definitely messed that up. Oh well. Okay. I'm going to call these guys a group. And I need what? 3 inches long. So I'm just going to cut that in half. And then about an inch wide. Okay, I'm going to call that there. That might not be exactly the right measurements, but that's close enough for me. And then probably about here. Perfect. And now we're going to take our zucchini and slice off both ends. For some reason, we don't need to peel the zucchini. Like, okay. And then cut the zucchini about the same size. So I'm going to cut it in half. And then do some long-ish strips. I'm going to cut these guys in half poorly. And then go down the middle. Yeah, I know. Don't do what I'm doing right here. That's poor knife etiquette, but it is what it is. Okay. There's that. So that's kind of our prep for right now. I'm going to move the cutting board to the side. And then we're going to toss these guys with a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to let it sit for 30 minutes. And when it's done sitting for 30 minutes... When it's done sitting for 30 minutes, we'll go ahead and drain them and dry them. So I'm just kind of going to go in here, try to get everything salted, separated a little bit. So, you know, the eggplant. Okay, you know, I don't think I did too bad of a job. Everything looks to be about the same size. And I'm just going to leave that to the side, and I'll see you guys when we're ready for the next step. Okay, so we are back here with our ratatouille, getting this ready. I'm going to go ahead and coat the bottom of my pan with some olive oil. We have squeezed our zucchini and, what is it? Eggplant. Dry after they've sat for 30 minutes. I actually had them sitting a little over 30 minutes just because I was doing something else. We got quite a bit of liquid out. So I went ahead and squeezed them in a paper towel. And this is kind of where we are. There's still some liquid in them, but I don't think you're going to get all the liquid out. I have olive oil in my pan. And we're going to saute the eggplant one layer at a time to get everything nice and brown. It says, and then do the zucchini. I'm doing both of them together. I do not have them separate. And I'm just going to reserve them to the side in this dish. So I'm letting this get hot. I have my tongs. And this is going to take a little while, I can tell, because, you know, this is quite a bit. But I've never done this step, so I am interested. I'm just turning the burner up a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Let's get some eggplant in there. And I'm following the recipe and doing this a layer at a time. Ow. Rude. And we're just letting everything get light brown. So I think it's probably going to be like a minute or so on each side. We've just finished our zucchinis and eggplant. They look great. They definitely got a little more brown than they should have. I admittedly was having some trouble with the temperature, and it took a lot more oil than I thought it would. The eggplant really just soaked up a bunch of oil. So I guess that's something to note. It said it was like 4 tablespoons of olive oil, more if needed. We used way more. But, you know, it is what it is. And now what we're going to do is we're going to slice we need about half a pound of thinly sliced yellow onion. Once again, my store had huge onions, so we probably are going to have a little bit more onion than we really need, but I'm going with it. I'm not really thinly slicing this very well, but I'm trying, which is embarrassing to admit because I'm doing such a poor job. But hey. And I do have my pot off. I just went ahead and turned it off because it was getting pretty hot. Let's try to thinly slice this a little bit better. I don't think, well, that one wasn't too bad. I guess I can throw that little piece away. And I'm just going to pour these guys in here so that we can make some room. Stick that in there. These will start to cook, but the pot is off, the burner's off, so it will cool down eventually. Okay. There's all of that. Now we need 2 green onions sliced. So everything in this recipe is kind of sliced, which I find interesting. Get out those little pieces. I'm going to go ahead and kind of do this in a weird way. Because there we go. So all of that, let me just slice off this. I know that's a really unconventional way to cut a pepper, but that's what I'm doing. And then let me get it. Oh, I dropped a piece on the floor. Oh well. I'm gonna go ahead. Don't ever cut towards your fingers like I'm doing. This is why I can't be a professional. My knife skills are terrible. And then it says slice. I'm gonna slice this way, kind of like a normal. There we go. Easy enough. Pretty quick and painless. And we'll get that there, set that aside because we're still going to need that. I'm going to turn this on high. I'm going to add in a little bit more olive oil to these guys just to get the cooking started. And like I said, we'll cook for about 10 minutes until they're nice and brown. I'm going to wash my hands. So it's been just 10 minutes. The onions got a little bit of color, but it is what it is. We're going to add 2 cloves of mashed garlic, which of course means we're just going to add a big spoonful. set our spoon in the sink, and then we're going to go ahead and salt and pepper this. There's our salt. Here's our pepper. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and give this a nice stir. I am going to lower the temperature just all the way. This smells absolutely delicious. I am excited to give it a try. That was definitely a little bit too much garlic, but look, I am not going to be one to complain, that's for sure. Okay, so now we have to cut our tomatoes. So here's our tomatoes from earlier. They've been patiently sitting aside. We're just going to get them out of their bowl. And we need to cut our tomatoes into 3/8 inch strips. So, whatever that means, we're just kind of gonna go this way. And then we're just laying them on top for right now of our peppers and onions. Oops. Okay. So everything's kind of similar. I think the goal is to have everything similarly shaped for this. So hopefully we're not doing too bad of a job. Okay, and then we salt and pepper our tomatoes. We'll do a little bit lighter, but there we go. And now we're going to cover these and cook over low for 5 minutes. We've got our tomatoes in here. We've had it on low for just about 5 minutes, a little over. And now it says to uncover and baste the tomatoes with the juices, raise the heat, and boil the juices away. So we don't really have much juice left. So I am going to leave it here and let it boil away for a little while. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, in this pot to the side, I'm just going to start to take off some stuff. We need 1/3 of this mixture to be in the bottom of our pan. Of course, this is served in a casserole, and, you know, at this point, I'm looking for a casserole, but I don't own one yet. So we're just doing this way. And now we're going to layer with half of our eggplant zucchini mixture. And I'm just kind of guesstimating what that looks like. Probably that's half right there. Just trying to get this more of an even layer. Maybe another spoonful, because that's a little right there, one piece. And okay, I'm going to call that there. But now I'm going to take this, another 1/3 of this, and I'm just kind of going to spread it on top. I'm going to take my spoon and just kind of do that with it. And then I'm going to finish my zucchini and eggplant. I will say I have never made ratatouille this way. This is all brand new to me. It's quite interesting how it's being done. I kind of always thought it was like done more in like a big pot, just like all together, but this is certainly a new preparation. And then I'm just going to pour this on top and evenly spread it around. Now that we have that done, we're going to cover and simmer this on low heat for about 10 minutes. So it's been just about 10 minutes. We have, I don't know if that's a good idea. We have cooked this on low, and now we're going to cook this uncovered for about 15 minutes. We'll raise the heat a little bit, kind of like a medium, a low medium, and cook this for 15 minutes. It says I can baste everything several times with the juices. You know what? I'm not even going to try that. We'll give it a little more. Yeah, so I'll see you guys when this is finished. Well, we did it. We finished our ratatouille. Now, I do realize, as I was plating this, I realized I forgot to add the parsley in. So what I went ahead and did was I just plated it, and then just added parsley on top. So this is what it looks like. The recipe book said to watch the heat because you might scorch the bottom of the vegetables, and you're not supposed to do that. I did that. It is what it is. I had it on like a 3 and 4. Oh well. But here it is. It smells good. Like I said, this looks different than any sort of ratatouille I've had. I guess I don't normally get it in this kind of form. But here's going to be my bite. I have a little bit of every vegetable. Well, let me get a little bit of zucchini on there too. Okay, so there's that bite. It's definitely hot. That's pretty good. You definitely have to like the vegetables in it. And that's obviously what's carrying it through. I will say that I have pork chops in the oven that I'm going to eat with this. So I don't think this version is something that I would eat just on its own. I know there are other versions out there that you can eat just on there, and they're more like a vegetable stew. This isn't one of those, but it is good. I think I'll probably give it... trying to think. It's been a long day in the kitchen. Not because of this recipe. I've been filming a couple things in a row. So I think I'll give this one probably... I think it's a solid 8. It's not my favorite. I think it could be played with a little bit. I don't see the point in skinning the... peeling the eggplant. I don't get what that was about. I don't care if the skin is on there. It seems like it cooks long enough to where that wouldn't be a problem. But I liked it. I do like it. I am excited to eat it. It's just not my favorite that I've had, and I think for all the like chopping that went into it, it's just kind of okay. But I think that's why it gets an 8, because it's not bad. I think it can be built on a lot, but the ingredients were super easy to find. It wasn't hard to follow the recipe. At no point did I really think to myself, I don't want to do this anymore. So I think that's fine. I think it just could be a little more, which I have done on my own. So I don't think I'll make this recipe again, but I'm glad that I made it. I'm glad that we tried it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.